why should we select you? Don't go on kind of boasting. More important is to focus on service orientation, your readiness to work hard, your readiness to work smart, your preparedness and propensity to learn. And as to either why should we select you or why do you want to join civil service, as always, I will repeat the crux of my answer. The crux is that there is no single answer. As to why do you want to join civil service, there are infinite possibilities. Be honest to yourself and state why you want to join. Saying that if I am not selected, I will do some other job or some other activity, that also I have always described like you are offering a rose to a girl or a boy. You are proposing and he or she says, what if I don't select you? And you hold that rose and continue to say that in that case I will offer this rose to someone else. It's like saying that, oh God, let me not present myself wrongly to the world and set it against me.
Today we are having Dharmadhikari Sir with us. He is going to guide students with respect to normal doubts that students usually have with respect to interview preparation. Those doubts seem to be very minute in nature, but they create a very big impact in overall interview preparation as well as their performance. That's why let us begin with the first very important topic about dressing. Many students have that kind of a fear that which kind of color should be one wearing while having interview, and usually few of the suggestions are of the nature that only light blue colored shirt should be worn so that it resembles the official dress code, etc. So what is your opinion about the same?
Swapnil and everybody, first of all, it is always a great pleasure to interact with you. On and above all my best wishes for everyone. That I have always liked to say that it has become my life song, Sarvetra Sukhina Santu. That all best wishes for everyone. I also take this opportunity to congratulate you for clearing the main exam and wish you all the best for an outstanding quality interview so that you clear UPSC exam. And not only that you clear UPSC exam, you come out with flying colors, you get the rank that you want and you get the service that you want. And if within that service there is a question of cadre, then of course my best wishes that you get the cadre that you want. Although again, the whole of India is our country. So whichever cadre we get is all okay. Like I always like to say that while we would have our own service choices also, it is still important to understand that actually all services are, so to say, like equal. I also take this opportunity to summarize my overall suggestion about the interview, which I always do in just 3 words. How to give outstanding quality interview. Just 3 words. The first word is self. Be your own natural self. Do not try to be what you are not. Do not try to be somebody else. You need to be relaxed in the interview, and that you can be only when you are your own natural self. The second point is honest answers. As to all questions, and I think some of them are coming up in our interaction today, please remember that there is no single answer which is valid for all situations and all persons. The answers may differ. What is important is your responses in the interview should be honest to yourself. Again, the point comes back to being one's own self, but it is being honest to oneself. What I mean to say is, there is no parroting of the answers. It is not like given an issue, you should parrot out only one standard answer. You should speak from the heart, you should speak from the brain, but speak your own self. So, honest answer. And my third favorite word is spontaneous. That the way we speak in the interview should be spontaneous. You should not come across like you have prepared the answers. And when the expected question comes up, your Rajdhani Express takes off and travels at a very fast pace. And if suddenly an unexpected question comes up, you think you are taken aback and then you are short on words and whatnot. So, the third word is spontaneous. On each word, there is a lot to be said, which I will reserve for our further interaction. But all these three words also are like engulfed, surrounded by, they should be, by one single word, and that one single word is smile. Smile. There are so many times in our mock interviews that I am required to tell the candidate to just relax a bit and smile. Smile does wonders really. Smile lights up the room. In fact, that you can smile also indicates that you are in control of the situation, that you are confident, that in an innocent smile you are passing on the message even to the panel that you are ready for all questions. It is that bring it on approach, bring it that it's okay. So smile, let us smile, and all my best wishes for all of you. Now as to Swapnil, this very basic question of dress code, or especially the standard one, I am remembered of even my days as back as 1985-86 when the standard magazines on civil service exam used to give some model interviews, and the male candidate would always be dressed in handsome blue suit and a blue shirt. And similarly, the standard kind of dress code for lady members, either sari or the Punjabi one. What I would say is you should be properly dressed for the occasion. Basically, it should be office wear. So, no zany colors, obviously no t-shirt, no jeans, etc. No stripes and all. The proper office wear. As to the choice of colors, I don't think you should consider it very binding that a standard light blue color shirt or the top or Punjabi should be worn. It's more important to be comfortable in that dress. Same holds good for whether to wear suit or not. I will repeat that it's important for you to be comfortable. If you are going to wear the suit, then practice wearing it regularly. Do not come across like me, that I usually don't wear the suit. But in today's interaction, youngsters told me that I should appear to be like grown up and mature, so I am wearing the suit. As to your interview, remember to be comfortable. Remember to wear proper office wear with shoes and all. And as to the color choice, it is okay, but ensure that it is a single color and on the lighter side. That's what I would say.
Yes. Sir, I have also seen few of the students not being able to button and unbutton their coat buttons when they are sitting and standing.
Yeah.
So how to take care of that in a particular crucial situation?
Very simple one. These are some mannerisms attached with wearing of the coat. Generally, when you enter the interview hall, you may be buttoned up. But when the chairperson beckons you to take your seat, Remember to, of course, smile, say thank you, and then unbutton the, that is the mannerism that goes with wearing of the suit.
Moving on to the next part, few students do get confused about how to wish the panel members when they enter the room.
Yeah.
And they get more confused when there are multiple gendered members over there. So what should be the sequence at such particular time?
As usual, very simple one. Your job is to wish the chairperson first, whoever he or she is, always the chairperson first. So good morning, good afternoon, like sir or madam. It could also be namaste. It's not absolutely binding that the wish should be in English, but the point is chairperson first. Then the lady member on the panel, make it a point to wish her exclusively and of course respectfully, and then rest of the members. Generally, I think by the time you are done with wishing, the chairperson will have already beckoned you to take your seat. So remember to say thank you. Ensure that you don't make noise of the chair and sit in the chair in a graceful way with your body balanced over there with a smile, of course, and be ready for the questions.
Yes. So I have seen few of the candidates wearing a very strong perfume, and while entering the room, it might create some bad impression as well. So what should one do about
that? My suggestion is actually not to wear a strong perfume.
Okay.
As to the male shaving, we use aftershave, which is all okay, mark of a man, but not very heavy perfume. You are not into a beauty contest, although intelligence is the greatest beauty, and let that beauty come across.
Great, great. Sir, at times there are on few particular controversial questions. Candidate tends to have some opinion which not be matching the opinion of the panel members at times, or at times with the official government policy for that matter.
Yeah.
So how to come across in a polite manner while answering such type of questions?
That takes me back to my single word, honesty. That your answer should be honest to yourself, and at the same time your answer should indicate that you have studied the issue from all angles, that you don't have and therefore you don't reflect a single track mind, that you don't form your opinions in a sentimental or impulsive way, but the opinions are based on careful study, and then you form your opinion. Now, all of us are human beings, and no two human beings can or will ever agree 100% on all issues. So it is very natural to have different opinions, so it's okay. Back to the word honest, that your answer should be honest to yourself, including a certain government policy. You are under no compulsion to agree with the government policy, as long as you are able to properly substantiate, explain, and also your wording and the way you speak indicates that you are not carried away by some one particular argument you are aware of, like opposing arguments and all. You have taken them into consideration and then you are responding. It is also important to remember that interview is not just question and answer, mind you. It's not like the 5 senior members sitting there are only posing questions to you to which you are expected to reply. It's not reply, it is to be response. So very well carefully considered. Sometimes some brilliant candidates also in fact anticipate a next question and they come out with an answer that either opens up the area that they want opened up, or they are able to preempt a certain line of questioning. So it is interaction with the panel. And let me also tell you that most of the times the panel will be friendly panel. It would only be a rare occasion when for some reasons best known to the panel members, some panel member may choose to be hostile to you. There also I do want to say that if a panel member is hostile to you, learn to smile. Tell yourself that the panel finds you extraordinary, so the panel wants to put you to a tougher test. Okay? Bouncers are bowled at Sachin Tendulkar's and Virat Kohli's alone. Bouncers are generally not supposed to be bowled at like number 10 or 11 player. So if the panel starts bowling bouncers at you, actually it is a compliment to your batting prowess. So don't be disturbed. What is important is not to be disturbed. Then as to either government policy or some controversial issues, again I underline the term honest. So after careful consideration, you want to disagree with a certain government policy, it is okay. I will repeat, as long as you properly substantiate and put it in proper words. For example, I would suggest you never to say, I disagree, sir. There is a polite way of saying. And it's not a single word, single sentence that you should repeat, but it is something to this effect where you may say that, sir, I respect your opinion. I will study the issue further. But based on whatever I have studied, this is my opinion as of now. Or you may also say, instead of saying, I disagree, or instead of even saying, I beg to differ, you should say, sir, I have a different opinion. Thank you, sir. Or madam, thank you, madam, I have a different opinion. So, no sharp retort, so to say. Actually saying, I disagree, sir, sounds like a sharp retort. Ensure that you don't do that. Then as to controversial issues, allow me to announce that in a short while, I myself intend to conduct a short but a special session on some of the important international, national issues, including some of the controversial issues. Keep yourself ready. They are bound to come up. The overall Russia-Ukraine situation, India's stand in that situation, possible flashpoint in, say, Taiwan, and many such issues, including within the national ones, will be indeed this raging film Kashmir Files and the controversy based on whatever happened in Kashmir Ghati in January 1990, or the questions like Ram Janmabhoomi temple, or this overall hijab issue and uniform civil code and all. The panel may want to find out your answer, and the panel also may want to find out how you answer. So as to the controversies, my basic recommendation will be your honest answer. Allow me to share a small example, really. Last year, we had an absolutely outstanding candidate. She had done her PhD in India-China relationship, and the interviews, in the mock interview, she was actually justifying China on most of the issues, including Tibet and all. And in the discussion, she was saying that India should rather be friends with China than USA. Many panel members had different opinion. I must also personally tell you that I am absolutely convinced that China is India's enemy number one. Okay? But this lady was giving outstanding answers. So it doesn't matter whether I agree or disagree. Her answers were well studied, well substantiated, and in a very balanced and a smiling way. So personally, I have given her ample marks. I am also happy to share with you that last year she got selected. All I will pray is, if she is selected into IFS, she represents India's national interest properly, but like my best wishes for her. So don't be worried if you think that some of your view may not be palatable to one of the panel members. Also remember that sometimes panel member may choose to deliberately disagree with you, not because that panel member genuinely has that particular opinion, but because the panel member will want to find out how you respond. Especially, are you able to maintain your poise? That is a beautiful word, poise. That given the interview situation, are you able to maintain your poise? Does the smile continue? Are you relaxed in the chair? And then you respond. So don't worry about either disagreeing on some of the issues with the panel member. So far actually, I have resisted telling you an example from like my own interview, because I think it is pretty old one, but because this issue is going on, give me just 1 minute to share that. The year was May 1986. And a close relative of Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi was on the panel, and he asked me, how would you assess the performance of Rajiv Gandhi government? My answer was that, sir, up to January 1986, it was like India was entering into a new golden age. But I am afraid and I am sorry, come January 86 and government has started making serious mistakes, including the last one was overturning the Supreme Court decision on Shah Bano case. I cited that, mind you, and I have like full ample marks. Even that close relative of Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi did not see me in a negative way. I hope the same one continues. So, your honest, balanced, well substantiated answer also delivered in a spontaneous and smiling way.
To add to this, I would just like to inform our viewers that when he got selected as IAS officer in that particular year, he scored 200 marks out of 250. And it happens to be one of the all-time highest scores even now. So even though he has answered in that particular manner, so you should be definitely relieved that your opinion does not matter that much, but how you are representing it is going to be very, very important. Moving on to the next part, I would like to ask sir that after controversial questions, if there are barrage of questions, maybe of factual nature, which students are not able to tackle, and continuously saying sorry that I don't know the answer, his moral or her moral seems to go down, and it gets reflected into his or her voice as well as body language. How to keep calm and composed on that particular situation?
If we remember, like nobody is perfect. As I am talking to you, I am not perfect. I will be the first-rate hypocrite if I either claim or pose as if I am perfect. But our journey towards perfection goes on. What I mean to say is, there is every likelihood that in the interview situation, you will come across questions which you cannot answer. Tell yourself that it is okay to come across a question you can't answer. Once you do that, I hope you will remain relaxed, and without losing your poise and smile, you can say, I am sorry sir, I don't know, or something to that effect. Sometimes you may say, sir, it seems I am required to study this particular issue deeper. I promise you I will do that. So don't be perturbed if the questions you can't answer come up. But there also, actually as UPSC candidate, there will be areas where you will be expected to come across as very knowledgeable one. So many issues pertaining to your own state or the national situation or international situation, like we already covered many controversial issues. But in that process, every once in a while, you come across something, especially largely very fact or data or statistics oriented questions. It is possible that sometimes you may not be aware of that. I have a feedback from last year's actual interviews that unlike previous experiences and unlike the expectations therefore, Many panel members were asking fact-based or data-driven questions. So keep your mind ready for such questions, like what is the GDP of your state, or per capita GDP, or population, and so much of statistics regarding that, or depending on your areas of interest or studies, like some vital questions, sad ones, like the number of suicides committed in India last year and what do they indicate, what is their social meaning, or increasing crime against women, and so many such issues. And there would also be many positive issues. So if you know the statistics, say so. If you are not absolutely certain, you may say, sir, I am not absolutely certain. On many questions, you may say, sir, I am not very sure, but I think it is so and so. Or sometimes you also may qualify your answer by saying, I guess, sir, I guess so and so. But again, it is important not to be disturbed. And during the process of this preparation of interview, of course, you should prepare for the state issues, the national issues and international issues, including some vital statistics and data and all.
Yes. So when candidates are appearing for the UPSC interview, many of the panel members ask them about themselves, about their introduction, and favorite question in that is about strengths and weaknesses of a candidate.
Yeah.
So how to answer the questions related to that without sounding boastful or without, in a way, sounding that that particular person has underachieved in his life.
Yeah. Now this aspect of sounding boastful has a lot to do with the tone or your facial expressions or your swollen chest or gesticulating. Eyes also reflect a lot. So if you speak in a matter of fact way, remember, energetic but matter of fact, or the other way around also, matter of fact but energetic. Matter of fact doesn't mean you speak in a dry way, in a lifeless way. So like in an objective way. So you present yourself in a detached way, dispassionate way. And like I said, present yourself as you are. So there is no question of being boastful. If there are any achievements you think you want to share, express your happiness and also make it clear that you would continue in the direction of scoring achievements. There is a beautiful poem originally in Bengali by none other than, of course, Gurudev Tagore. As translated in English, the line says, "O God, let me not present myself wrongly to the world and set it against me." This line also tells us how to present oneself in the interview, including if the question about introduce yourself is asked. Of course, I would suggest you to remember not to tell your name. Introduce yourself, but don't say my name is so and so. But rest of it you may refer to educational qualification, your achievements. This actually, Swapnil, this question also gives in a way an opportunity to me to also kind of make you aware of one more area, and that is, remember that your answers are going to open up the avenues for further questions. So when asked, introduce yourself, remember to introduce yourself in a way that if the questions pertaining to that, the panel member may pick up some sentence from what you said, some point from what you said, and go on to discuss. So actually use that as an opportunity to guide your interview to your strengths, right?
Yes. Sir, and about weaknesses, students are very conservative about telling their weaknesses, whether they should open up.
Yeah.
So, are there any particular kind of ways in which students can put up their weaknesses so that they are not actually weaknesses as such?
Yeah. There are. What I would suggest is, don't try to hide your weaknesses. In fact, your capacity to state your weaknesses also indicates your ability to look at oneself in a detached and dispassionate fashion. For example, asked of me, I would indeed say that I'm sorry, I am short-tempered. But I would continue to smile. I am aware that I'm short-tempered, which also means that I need to control and restrict myself. But I qualify saying I'm short-tempered by saying I'm sorry, I'm short-tempered. So in this way, you can continue to, sometimes some of us feel dejected very easily, or we get demotivated very easily, or discouraged. There are people passing comments against us all around us, or not properly appreciating us, and we feel dejected. That is also because all of us are human beings. That also, by the way, gives me an opportunity to tell you two lines from a beautiful song which I have always liked. This is a song from movie Sangam, Raj Kapoor and Vaijayantimala. And those were the years when even poetry of Hindi songs used to be beautiful. The line is, and since I need to save time, otherwise listen to the original song. The song is O Mere Sanam, O Mere Sanam. One line from a stanza is, ये धरती है इंसानों की, कुछ और नहीं इंसान है हम. So we are all human beings, prone to have drawbacks, prone to make mistakes. Don't be too much put down by that. Remember to respond in a dispassionate, detached way. This capacity to look at oneself, that is what what would cheer up and light up your interview.
Okay. Great. Sir, another question regarding why should we select you is very famous, and most of the candidates are again falling into that trap, and they tend to hard sell themselves.
Yeah.
So how to avoid that trap and how to be balanced in such an answer?
In a way, either why should we select you or why do you want to join civil service? They are kind of two sides of the same coin. Of course, in why should we select you, again, don't go on kind of boasting. More important is to focus on service orientation, your readiness to work hard, your readiness to work smart, your preparedness and propensity to learn. And as to either why should we select you or why do you want to join civil service, as always, I will repeat the crux of my answer. The crux is that there is no single answer. As to why do you want to join civil service, there are infinite possibilities. Be honest to yourself and state why you want to join. Many candidates say that they want to join because they want to serve the country, but that conviction doesn't come across. They say it like they are parroting it. Don't do that. Think carefully about why you want to join. It is, I would say, perfectly okay to say that this job offers a reasonable standard of living, stability, a social position, and opportunity to work. At the same time, I will also say that if you are absolutely convinced that you want to join in order to serve the country, then don't feel shy to say so. I'm sure that conviction will come across. Over here at Chanakya Mandal, we indeed say that civil service is service to the nation, service to the people. So people are the nation. If we are convinced that I want to join the service to serve the nation, to serve the people, then say so. My point here will be, again, basically your honest answer.
Again, that is coming across as the golden mantra that Dharmadhikari Sir is telling us all, that be your honest self in the interview. That is going to help you a lot. Moving on to the next question, sir. I have also seen, you must have also seen in official UPSC reports as well, that the average age at which students getting selected are right now around 27, 28. Also, in which number of attempt they are getting selected is third or fourth. So there is bound to be many number of candidates who are going to have large amount of educational gap, also the large amount of years when they are not doing anything as such to earn something for living.
Yeah.
So how to explain such educational or work related gap?
I would say a gap of up to about 2 years since your graduation is okay, where you may say that I have been focusing on UPSC preparation. But I'm afraid anything more than that, and you need to carefully consider and think for yourself and be able to explain that gap. I'm indeed pained to say that I come across brilliant candidates who say in the interview that for last like 6, 7, 8, 9 years of their life, they have been doing nothing but preparing for UPSC. There I am afraid and I am sorry that it doesn't show us in any good light. So you either took some postgraduate education, or you did some job part-time or full-time, or you like studied something more focused on some earning some specialization or some technological skill and all. Any gap more than, I would say, 3 and more years, so more than 2 years, everyone needs to think carefully at personal level and come up with one's own answer. Again, for example, last year we had this brilliant youngster who has All India rank 37. He gave the exam pretty late, but in the intervening years, he had achieved some extra degrees in technological education, got a scholarship in United States. After finishing the scholarship, he in the campus interview, he was selected over there and was working for US government, and still he did not feel like living the dream. So he was able to explain that gap. I remember another hard-working youngster who was working, who was helping his parents in agricultural work. So what all you have been doing in the intervening years, this youngster said, I have been helping my parents in agricultural work. Now that opens up further questions, and we did pose him further questions on agriculture, and his answers brought out that yes, it seems he was genuinely working in fact it shows that youngster in a good light. So think very carefully about any years more than 2 years.
Okay, great. Sir, since we are on the topic of education, many of the students have selected their optional subject, which is something else than their graduation subjects. And many a times the genuine reason of them is because of the fact that that particular optional subject is considered to be very much scoring. That's why they have selected. Should one tell such an honest answer in the case of interview, or should one give some other?
My basic suggestion about honest answer continues. In this particular respect, ensure that it is presented in proper words.
Okay.
Again, the answer not to be parroted the same way I am saying, I am suggesting an approach. But the approach could be something to this effect, that I took a look at the syllabus and the question papers for previous X number of years, and I thought I would first of all enjoy studying this subject, and personally I would be able to score in that particular subject. Here I would reiterate, not to give negative opinion to some other subject, but ensure that you stay focused in a positive way on the subject of your choice. For example, most of the engineers actually do not pick up engineering subject or even maths or physics as their optional subject. Fact of the matter is, the UPSC syllabi for engineering subjects are way more vast than like the normal university syllabus for an engineering exam. What I would therefore suggest is, don't say that I did not pick up engineering subject because the syllabus was very vast, etc., etc. Instead of focusing on that negative part, focus on the positive part of the subject you picked up. Again, for example, as of now, political science and international relations happens to be like the subject of choice for a large number of candidates. You may care to say over there that about 75% of pol science syllabus also overlaps with GS. So in a way that also helps us be on a stronger footing with GS. Or you pick up history, then in fact 100% history syllabus is valid for GS. My point here, from the choice of optional subject to the choice of service, choice of cadre, and since I'm interacting with you, I'm taking this liberty to also talk about the whole life, okay, that what we say, what we decide should actually be for positive reasons. Whatever we do in life should not be because we don't want to do something else, so I am doing this. It should not be because we want to kind of run away from something else, so I am doing this. Whatever we do should be the positive choice in our life. And that again gives me an opportunity to quote a beautiful sentence by Swami Vivekananda. The sentence is, in your life, do what you enjoy. But if you can't, then learn to enjoy what you do. So that will also help us on this entire spectrum from UPSC interview to life.
Sir, coming to the next point, many of the times also this particular question is asked that if we don't select you, what is your fallback option? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So what should be the answer to
that? That is a good point you are raising, in fact. So I will kind of leak or let out one of the trick questions even we pose in the interviews, because that is also to test the ground on which you stand. Same question. What if you are not selected? There are candidates who say, I will try again, or I will do some introspection, improve myself and have another attempt. There are candidates who say that I will go back to my job or help my parents, or we have our business, I will take to that, so on and so forth. Broadly speaking, my suggestion here is not to fall for this question. What if you are not selected is a trick question. I have always described it as a dusra, really. That you think it is an off break, but the point at which the bowler delivers the ball has a different spin and it is going to turn a leg break. If you are not able to read that delivery carefully, you may either get LBW or clean bowled or whatnot. Read the delivery very carefully. This is a trick question. It's a dusra. Do not fall for it. What if you are not selected? In the interview situation, my suggestion is to again smile, stay and speak in a polite way, okay? But express your confidence. Something again to this effect that, sir, I look forward to being selected. I'm not even contemplating failure. So I look forward to being something to that effect. In fact, if you can bring yourself to smile and say on the lighter side also that, sir, I look forward to succeeding, but I know it is up to you. But don't say I will do something else, or I will again have express like your confidence in a very polite way for being selected. Saying that if I am not selected, I will do some other job or some other activity. That also I have always described like you are offering a rose to a girl or a boy, spouse you are proposing, and he or she says, what if I don't select you? And you hold that rose and continue to say that in that case I will offer this rose to someone else. It's like saying that. So in that situation, don't do that. Don't fall for the question. Express your confidence in a smiling and cheerful way of being selected.
Just like you mentioned right now, when a particular person is proposing some potential life partner, the kind of nervousness that he or she might be experiencing, on the day of interview, that nervousness might be more than that. So how to handle such particular nervousness, lack of confidence on the particular day that matters the most?
This is broadly overall about your personality skills, your social skills, and also your communication skills. That is what we develop ourselves through the process. And to a large extent, mock interviews may serve that purpose. That is like making oneself go through that process. So once you do make yourself go through that process, the wiring of the brain gets ready to confront the situation. And still, as we know, even the best of the batsmen are kind of nervous for first few deliveries on the pitch. Gavaskar has said so. There are very, very few batsmen who are perfectly comfortable at the crease from ball number 1. So tell yourself that it's okay. There might be kind of slight shaky feel in your legs or hands as you sit down in the chair. And after first couple of questions, the ice is broken. The free-flowing interaction goes on. So remember to relax. But this question also gives me an opportunity to speak about, like, if I may say, in fact, the most important point or suggestion. And my dear friends, that suggestion is about regular practice of yoga. Yoga, mind you. I'm not saying that tomorrow is your interview, so do yoga today. ये कोई जादू की झप्पी नहीं है. Or not something to be told to God that, oh God, give this to me and I will repay it back to you. Yoga is to be like regularly practiced, but we belong to that civilization whose, if I may say, the greatest contribution to human civilization is yoga. Yoga means capacity to stay cool under pressure. And if you can stay cool, then you can smile. And if you can smile, it reflects on your personality and all. So, use this as an opportunity to start practicing yoga in your life. I know the interviews are round the corner. So, like practicing yoga today doesn't mean tomorrow you would suddenly be comfortable. But at least one point I can suggest you which will have immediate effect. That point is actually just to focus on your breathing. Just be awareness. If you think you are getting disturbed either outside the interview hall or on entering the interview hall, or the panel member asking questions to you and you think you are getting disturbed, just sit back in the chair, stay cool and bring yourself to just be aware of the breath. That I can assure you will put you in a relaxed frame of mind, and then you will be able to respond properly.
Thank you, sir. I wish that all this particular question answer session has been of great help to you. And the last question by Dharmadhikari sir must have definitely cleared many of the doubts, and it is the final solution that you can definitely try for yourself so that you get huge success. I would also like to share all the students that our interview guidance program has already started. We are conducting offline mock interviews in Pune as well as in Delhi. Also, our online mock interviews are going on. For dates and for other details like registration, etc., you can find all the details in the description box of this particular video. I wish that you get huge success in UPSC CSE 2021. All the best. Thank you so much.
All the very, very best, everyone. See you soon.